All right, it's time to talk about your resume and your cover letter. And a lot of people, when I'm talking to them, are like, well, do I even really need to worry about a cover letter? How important is my resume? Can I just have ChatGPT write my resume? And here is what I'll say for career changers. If you are a career changer and you're changing from one industry to another, one role to another, you want to be very intentional about your resume. And yes, it's a toss-up whether or not your cover letter will be read. But if it is, you want it to be good. And it does not hurt to have one, especially if you're in an industry where you have to be a good writer. They're going to want a cover letter then. For example, marketing, things like that. If you're in an industry where you won't be writing as much, then it often isn't as important. But they might glance at your cover letter just to get a feel for the type of writer that you are. Let's start with your resume. If you're changing career paths, I highly recommend that you research resumes from the career path that you're going into. See how they're formatted and the information that's typically needed. Pull a series of job descriptions and look at common keywords and see what's important in those job descriptions. Highlight those job descriptions. Go through them. Cross-reference them. Do your research. Here's a few fast facts and tips for your resume. Have your name big and bold and at the top. The first way that you can rebrand your resume is through your professional summary at the top. And you can have a header above your professional summary that showcases the career path that you're looking to go into and then talks about why you're looking to make a career change. You want your resume to scream, I'm interested in this job, not I'm interested in any job. Each header above each section can even be branded in the direction. You could have human resources related experience, and then a series of jobs underneath that showcase some of your transferable skills for human resources. In the resume example that I have below, there's a header for key highlights, and that's something for mid-level career professionals that can be helpful to pull out some of your most important experience, but it's not necessary, so you can scrap that section if you don't want it. Each bullet point should be direct and detailed, but not too verbose. I often have people go through each bullet point and ask the questions, for who, what, by when, how often, kind of like a who, what, when, where, why. And if they can't answer that through the bullet point, they might want to add a little bit more information if they feel it's relevant. You can go ahead and scrap the information that's no longer relevant on your resume. I know it's hard to do and people don't like doing that. They feel like they're giving up a part of themselves for not showcasing everything they have to offer, but you really want to tailor it to the position that you're interested in. In your resume, you don't want to include a photo. Include a current email address that's professional and ends with a Gmail preferably, because Hotmail and AOL can be dated and sometimes there's ageism against those email accounts. Another thing that you want to do is not include your full address, just the city and the state. Finally, a bullet point formula that you can use that is really effective is action verb plus accomplishment plus outcome. I'll add, you don't want to use ChatGPT to create your whole resume. Your resume gives you the chance to reflect on your skills and your strengths and what you bring to the table in this career transition. ChatGPT can't do that. One thing it can do, if you really need help, is help you reformat or rephrase a bullet point. But the couple times that I've done this, I will say it gave me a pretty wordy bullet point, and sometimes it felt like a little bit too fluffy. So just make sure if you are choosing to use ChatGPT to rephrase a sentence that you have already written, that it doesn't make it too wordy. You will want to tweak your resume for each job that you're applying for, using keywords from the job description. You'll also want to potentially rewrite your cover letter or reformat it a good bit for each job that you're applying for. Lastly, you don't want there to be very repetitive bullet points. So if you have one job that was similar to another job, don't use the same bullet point. Showcase something different. They already know you know how to do that. Make sure your resume is only a fit for you and no one else because of the way you format the bullet points and the way that you format the professional summary. When a recruiter reads it, It should give concrete examples and allow you to show your credibility in the field that you're in or the field that you're trying to transition into. If you're feeling stuck on your resume, I'm happy to look over it in a resume appointment or help you build it in another appointment. Okay, let's talk about cover letter briefly. Your cover letter is your chance to showcase your transferable skills. Do not repeat your resume. Pull out a few specific examples that communicate your previous experience and how it relates to the career path that you want to go into. Make sure your cover letter is clearly organized, that your intro goes over what you're going to talk about in the middle. The middle showcases your skill set through specific examples. And if you're a career transitioner, you say why you're looking to make a career transition. Finally, include why you're applying for that job and that company. That's something that I often saw missed as a recruiter. People would say, I'm really interested in getting this job, but nothing about the company. So I was like, do you even want to work here or do you just want this job anywhere? And even if that might be the case, you don't want to communicate that. You want to seem like you're really interested in that specific job and that company. So those are a few fast facts for your resume and cover letter.